Hello and welcome back to the Finish Line, proudly sponsored by Hollywoodbets, who are celebrating their second year in business in Ireland. So we have a few special things going on for that tonight. But before that, it is our Dublin Racing Festival preview. We have loads lined up tonight, all the Grade 1 races. I keep looking at the screen, the camera's there, Andrew. Loads of races to get through, all the Grade 1s. And the big handicap, we were not going through all of it because we're here until the Dublin Racing Festival is actually over. But before we get into all of that, since Hollywoods are celebrating their second year in Ireland, they are upping their welcome offer. So instead of bet 10, get 20, you will now bet 10, you will get €30 in free bets in Ireland. Now, it's not in the UK, but for the Finish Line viewers who want to sign up through the Finish Line podcast, through the link in the description, anyone in the UK will get that extra €10 as well in a free bet. So you will be getting your bet 10, get 30 in free bets. So both links are in the description for the UK and Ireland side. So if you sign up below, the UK one goes until the midnight on Friday before the Dublin Racing Festival starts. And the Irish one is for the rest of the month. But we are working on bringing that over to the UK as well for the coming weeks. But again, for anyone that wants to sign up for the UK one, you will get an extra €10 free bet as well, so you're getting your 30. As well, I didn't put this out on social media. By 10 o'clock tomorrow, somebody will have their hands on 2 tickets to the Leopardstown Festival on Saturday. All you have to do, you literally have to do, you can do it as well, even though we have all the tickets.
I have tickets.
We can do it as well. All you have to do is go onto YouTube and go over to Hollywoodbets International YouTube channel and subscribe to that. That's it. That's all you have to do. And then we will pick the winner. It will be announced on tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. Write that down so don't forget. So again, all you have to do is go to the Hollywoodbets International YouTube channel and subscribe to that. And you could get 2 tickets to the Leopardstown Dublin Racing Festival for Saturday. Nearly there. Now, boosted doubles time. So these are live now until midnight tonight. So the first one that we have is...
You'll have to say them because I can't see.
Yeah. Pull that back then.
I don't know what's going on. It's like there's a mirage in here.
Could be the water. Right, so the first one is Phil Dorr to win the Racing TV Juvenile Hurdle and Blue Lord to win the Irish Arkle. Was 9-2, is now 11-2. So you'll find them in the specials in horse racing on Hollywoodbets. These are again live from now until midnight tonight. And the second one is, good, they've done this one for you.
Shashan
Pushwa.
I love it.
Shashan Pushwa to win the Dublin Chase and Frodon to win the Irish Gold Cup was 11-2. Tasty 7-1 for you, Dave.
Frodon's probably the most likely winner, to be honest.
And the last one, I think people like this one. This is the one that's going to get the people going.
Okay.
Do you know where I got that? Listen to bloody, what was it, Blades of Glory song there a minute ago, down in the gym.
I've never seen that film.
What?
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Have a guess what you're watching soon.
No, I'm not.
And finally, the last one is Honeysuckle to win the Irish Champion Hurdle and Sir Gerhard to win the Irish Novice Hurdle. Was 9-4, is now 10-3.
That's lovely. What's the max I can get on that?
You can win up to €200.
Oh no.
Now, see? Happy birthday.
That's fucking lovely now.
Again, that is a limited time only. That is only up till midnight tonight. All them are minimum? I'm getting your syndrome now. A minimum of €200 you can win. Maximum, sorry, not minimum. Maximum.
Oh, happy days, Andrew. Yes.
Correct, Andrew. Fucking hell, I'll be sacked on the spot. A maximum of €200 you can win on the 3 of them. Whew.
Yeah, you definitely are getting my thing. I was talking to Andrew yesterday, just in the office here, Tom, and I was stuttering and couldn't speak properly and everything. It's definitely something to do with the tablets, but I can't see today.
We blame everything on your
You're driving us up on Saturday.
I'm driving on Saturday.
Fuck's sake.
Driving home on Monday.
We'll definitely end up in Galway, Tom.
You're not driving me anyway.
You still don't even believe I booked the hotel, right?
I don't. Until I've got there, checked in myself, I'm not going to believe it.
I'm videoing you apologising to me and putting it on Twitter.
Oh no! Oh, you stand there. You stand there. I'll do.
Yeah.
I just want to get the whole reaction.
I'm sorry, Dave. That's all you need to say. 3 words. I'm sorry, Dave.
And here's the other one we're doing. We agreed this, Andrew, didn't we, in the WhatsApp group there, that if Frodon wins the Irish Gold Cup, as Bryony Frost is coming back in to go into the weighing room, we're getting a picture of herself and Dave and Dino Dave, and it's going to be splashed everywhere online. So if you don't know who to cheer on in the Irish Gold Cup, the answer is Frodon.
Well, give us a taste or go B.
I'll say it now in a sec. When we went up to Tyestes last week, in the car on the way up, I said I have a horse. It's actually a favourite. It's a Lucy Wadham, and she rides a lot for Lucy Wadham now. Lucy Wadham, Juvenile. I ended up going out. What was it? Didn't I go out to 11-4 or something? 11-4. We all backed it. Jesus Christ, I'll try again. We all backed it. And in the bookies in going ahead, go on B! Go on B!
He did.
I gave
He really did.
I gave it socks.
Nice.
What are you looking
okay,
at?
Tom?
No, I'm just wondering. This seems bigger today for some reason. I'm just wondering what was in this part of the screen. I couldn't quite work it out, but it's an indoor elephant water fountain. The box for the indoor elephant water fountain. The most annoying present I've ever bought my wife, because I didn't realize all you hear is the trickling of water the whole time it's on.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow.
Go on, B.
Go on. No.
Go on, B. Go on,
no.
B.
I'm so going to say it.
She's Frodon is the most likely winner, I think. We'll get there anyway.
We'll get there in a minute. But again, all them offers are live now until midnight tonight, and all the links are in the description. And again, the UK viewers get that extra €10 to bump up to €30 in free bets if you sign up tonight until Friday. So let's crack on with the racing. 2 days, 8 grade ones, unbelievable racing, and points of Guinness. We're going to start off with grade 1, Nathaniel Lacy, partner solicitors, novice hurdle over 2 miles 6. And the sponsors have put up €50,000 if you win this and go on to win the annual race at the Cheltenham Festival. It's for the grooms, I think, as well, so which is good. So we have Hollow Games in the 7-4. Horny with me. Wow. That's meant to be just
horny with me.
Let's fix that. Hold up now.
What do you think about that, Jason?
Oh, did you actually write that? I thought you just said it.
No, it's there.
It's there. It's
Jesus
Journey
Christ,
with me 2-1.
Horny with me.
Wow, sounds like wow.
Horny with me, followed by what do you want?
Oh, Tom's going to leave the show soon.
That's me, Don. I go home.
8 minutes in. Oh, we had about professional 4 minutes, and then we're gone again.
Horny with me, followed by what do you want?
Oh.
And Eric Bloodaxe.
There's a film in that somewhere, lads.
Oh, stop now. Stop.
Oh, it's wet.
Stop. No, oh. It's very warm in here.
Oh, God. And then it ends up with a grand jury.
That sounds about how that night out ends up.
Sounds possibly like what Saturday night will end up being.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
Oh, Tom, take it for a minute. Woo.
Well, yeah, I've normally got plenty to say, but I definitely got plenty to say about this race anyway. I'm attacking this in the angle that Journey with Me doesn't run. They have the option of, because he was only bought for, or because his stallion's average is, I don't know what it is, but it's under a certain amount, so he can run in an auction novice race. So they have that other option with him, which you don't have a lot of options at this time of the year with horses like that. So if we take it that one of Grand Jury or Journey with Me isn't going to run here, I would say Grand Jury might be the more likely to run. So I'm going for the fact that he's running. We'll start with him he actually looked like he was going to win it. And he travelled very well into it, and his run just flattened out, and then he kept going a little bit. That ties him in very closely with Hollow Games. His run in Navan Hollow Games, it turned into a bit of a sprint, and it was a weird enough race. He jumped okay on better ground. Could have jumped better at Nace, I think it's fair to say. He also is one that he doesn't travel very well on the bridle. He can be off the bridle a good way out. Bron, Dave, I know you're a fan of him. I'm not. He jumped right at Nace. That was on really, really soft ground. For me, he looks like a chaser. So I'm happy enough to take him on. Eric Bloodaxe, the grade 2 he won at Limerick. I thought that was weak enough. Ivan finished 4th in that race. He was beaten 10.5 lengths. Minella Crooner then beat Ivan in the maiden hurdle at Punchestown by 11 lengths on the bridle. So if you take a straight line down there, I would take Minella Crooner to beat Eric Bloodaxe. I also think Eric Bloodaxe wants softer ground. That leaves me with, and I know this is only the first race of many, but it's one of my bets of the weekend, is Minella Crooner.
You could see Tom gone home after the first.
I could be gone. Of my anti-post bets so far that I've done so far for this week, this is my biggest bet of the week. So I could be gone. Jesus Christ! Sorry, I'm just looking at one of the comments, and the guy's literally picked out 3 of my bets for the weekend. How he's done it, I don't know, but he's got 3 of them and he's got my nap and my next best in a comment. That's a miracle.
And we apologise for that, John, in advance.
Tom, that's not John. That's Tom's burner phone there. Right in the
burner phone. I'm like, John's a genius. Well done, John. Minella Crooner, he's also liked since I saw him win a bumper in Sligo in the summer. And I think the reason he was running in Sligo in the summer and why he's a bit underrated here is, by the sound of it, he does absolutely nothing at home. And you can see by it in his races. He comes off the bridle, he gets pushed along, but then he can latch back onto it. He was very impressive at Punchestown. But if you go back,
get the name of the
race, Hollywoodbets sponsored race.
Just go to Hollywoodbets maiden hurdle. It's not hard. Jesus.
The Hollywoodbets maiden hurdle. I think it was the Hollywoodbets sponsors Jamie Moore and Dan Muscat maiden hurdle, something like that.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Lad.
But I went back and watched that a couple of times, and his jumping at Leopardstown, he was so slow. Like, he'd come in and bunny hop them, and turning in, you thought he'd be beating 20 odd lengths more. Journey with Me and Kilcrook quickened away. But as they turned in then, he just stayed on and stayed on and stayed on. And I thought it was really impressive. On my original viewing of it, I thought Kilcrook was the one slowing down, so that made it look better. But he was catching Journey with Me. Every stride he went, he was getting close to Journey with Me. He went to Punchestown, and my main thing for him at Punchestown was he jumped more fluently. Now, admittedly, that was over 3 miles, and they went a bit slower. But he didn't go in and get tied and bunny hopped them. He attacked them in Punchestown. So I think, look, he's my bet here. I think he's got a cracking chance. He's 7-1, I think. Is he? Yeah, 7-1. I think he's got a cracking chance here, and I think he's got a fantastic chance in the Albert Bartlett as well.
So this is like a game. Can we play now? Can we play now?
John Morgan tipped 3 of your horses, Tom, and then wrote in, I thought I had a chance up to 2 minutes ago.
Legend. Fair play, John.
So just to clear everything up, you're going for Minella Crooner.
Minella Crooner, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm attacking it at the same angle. I don't think Journey with Me will run. I think he's going to be saved and then go to the Ballymore. I think they'll run Grand Jury. I don't mind Eric Bloodaxe. I think he would be more suited to the Bartlett, though, when it comes up the extra couple of furlongs. I'm not the biggest fan of Hollow Games. What do you want? I thought was very disappointing in the Lawlers and Ace. I'd have to see better from him the next time. I do like Minella Crooner. I think Tom's right there. The stats on the last few years of this meeting is majority of winners have gone to Willie and Gordon. Henry has a few in there. There's a lot of trainers have had no winners at all. The likes of Gavin Cromwell and so on and so forth have no winners at this meet. So I came down on Braun. I went through his form. I thought he's a good outside price, a good each way price. He was trained by Stuart Crawford. He got moved to Willie Mullins. I think the maiden hurdle he won, it was screaming out for him to go up and trip. I think he won it in spite of the trip. The third in that race, Flame Bear, absolutely bolted up last week. I can't think of the trainer, but he looks a decent horse for that trainer. And the bumper that he won when he was with Stuart Crawford is actually a decent bumper. There's 3 or 4 winners out of it. And a horse that we all fancied at Christmas, a Willie Mullins horse that came from France, was beaten by the thing that was in second in that bumper. Remember Horzanzo Dairy that Tom, you really thought would bolt up, and the horse of it could be Elmarie Holden's, but How You Bud, 25 to 1.
He's gone to America, hasn't he?
And we looked through the form, and the form was actually there for him to actually not be a 25 to 1 shot in that race. So Brown by him in a bumper, and then 2 other horses have come out and win bumpers. I think he's only going to progress. The pedigree he has is all up in trip. He's by a flat sire, not Cato. Remember him? Mm-hmm. So I don't think he'll mind too much the ground, and that sire actually went on soft ground as well. So I think there's a lot of positives for Braun. If Paul Townend was on him, he'd be half the price then. So Braun.
Yeah, I'm going at it with, look, it's kind of out there. That Journey with Me probably won't be running here. Then you've Grand Jury, who ran in the Lawlers and Ace, he was in front of Hollow Games. What Do You Want as well? That was a very good run out of him. That's only an email. That was a very good run out of him the last day, all considering that Henry's horses haven't been really firing lately. But then you have Manila Crooner, who was second to Journey with Me at Leopardstown last the run before. Then he went on to win the Hollywoodbets maiden hurdle at Punchestown 2 weeks ago. He won well that day. He looked like a horse that needs every yard. He's going to need every yard of this trip, and I think realistically, I think it's between himself and Grand Jury on kind of unknown form. The back form for Manila Crooner is good with Journey with Me, because then Kilcrush has come out and won again, and not won again, has won since. I think the prices are right. I think the board of 6 and 7 to 1 are right price. They're good price to me. I find it hard to split the two of them as of now. If I was going to come down on one, it would probably be Manila Crooner right now, just going on. I want to see Henry's horses running a bit better than they have been. So on that form, on that basis alone, I think Manila Crooner and Grand Jury will be the two battling out. I think Hollow Games needs further than this again. I think he's a 3+ miler. He looked so outpaced in Lawlers and Ace the last time. And What Do You Want jumping went to pot up there as well. So he needs to put in a lot of a better round of jumping in my eyes. So I'd be probably backing the two of them now at the prices, because Journey with Me, by all means, is going to be taken out of it, and they're going to more or less be a lot shorter than they are right now. So I'd say Manila Crooner are the main one, but Grand Jury won't be far behind them. Right, let's move on to another hard but interesting race. The Juvenile Grade 1. For Bon is 6 to 4. Phil Dorr is 5 to 4. The Tide Turns 5s. Ikra Allen is 5s. Ben Siegel 10s at 40 to 1. Bigger the rest. Dave, we were up in Punchestown when the Tide Turns won the Hollywoodbets maiden up there, and we had a good chat with the owners as well. They were very pleased with what they saw that day, considering he was 3 weeks behind what he was. I was surprised he's so short going against these two, but when you take into what's in the field, probably yes. But for Brian, you really like you have him in a nice
I backed him anti-post with the idea that Phil Dorr wouldn't run. If Phil Dorr runs, it'd be very hard to pick between both. You'd expect Vauban to improve significantly for his first run in Ireland, but it's hard to pick between those two. I have Vauban, and if I had to come down one, he'd be the one I'd choose. And then an outsider I like is Noel Mead's horse, Ben Siegel, same colours as the horse that won the Fred Winter last year.
Mhm.
I can't even think of his name now.
Jeff Kidder.
Jeff Kidder. He bolted up at Punchestown.
In the first 3 races, that shit.
He bolted up in Punchestown on his first hurdle start. Beat a couple of nice horses. I know that Gentleman Joe that is out in Henry's is talked about as a decent enough horse. He was back and forth. I know Brendan Jukes, Dr. Brown Bear, they kind of like that horse as well. So he bet them sick that day. So I give him an each way chance, and I probably will back him each way when I'm up there, I'd say.
You, Tom, where are you going with this one?
I'm going with Vauban. I've really thought the race at Punchestown between the two of them, himself and Pied Piper. I couldn't believe how much they pulled clear, and to be honest, I thought it was a good race at the time. I think Pied Piper came out and showed that it was there at Cheltenham at the weekend. He's rated 101 on the flat. He won a listed race on his final start in France Vauban. He also did that on pretty quick ground, and I think that's going to be key here. We know he goes on pretty quick ground. It's a question mark for me with Phil Lore. I think he would like it. He would like it softer. Vauban was keen early at Punchestown, and he was novice over the first 4, maybe 5. But as the race went on, he started to jump an awful lot better. He actually came off the bridle and looked a bit slow, if anything. He responded then for pressure, and then turning in, he looked like he was coming to make his challenge. And then he hit the last. He got right into the bottom of the last, and he was clever over it, but he just so close. He lost a couple of lengths. He then closed all the way to the line, and for me, Pied Piper was flat out to win that. If you know Punchestown as well, Punchestown is a downhill finish, so it is very hard to make up ground after the last there. So I'd mark that up again. I really like him. I'm a massive fan of him. I love that his jumping improved as it went on. Phil Lore, look, this is the hardest race he's going to have had so far. I know he's beaten some horses that have gone on and won mares races in the UK and stuff, but this is nothing like he's faced before. He's also dawdled around a couple of times. This is going to be run at a much quicker pace on better ground. And for me, I'll go with Vauban. The other little nugget I wanted to mention is Ben Siegel and Ikra Allen. I'm a fan of Ikra Allen as well, but I think he might just get done here by Vauban. But they're pretty closely matched on form of a horse called Dr. Brown Bear. And heard a little whisper in the week that Dr. Brown Bear has been sold out of whose yard was he in? Dave, you just said it.
Brendan Jukes
yard, and has been bought by the Mulryans and sent to Martin Brassel. So if you have a look at his form, it's pretty decent. And yeah, I'd have a look at him for the Boodles maybe. I think he's 50-1. So
these races, the juvenile hurdles, I'm not really keen on getting really stuck into any of the two at the top. As of now, in regards to Phil Dore, probably just because of the ground. If there was a good bit of softener, I think he'll win. He'll love a battle in soft ground, but I think he might get tapped for toe here. For Braun, yes, he was interfered on the straight up against Pied Piper. The form has obviously been frank big time. I'm kind of looking at this, hoping that there's going to be 8 runners, and I take the tight turns at an each way price. I find it hard on this ground to split the top 2. For Braun, look, he's going to improve again from his last run, obviously. Form is frank. Phil Dore has done what he's done so far. He beat Leonard Power twice, which is a decent horse in his own right. Beat him further the second time, but that was on softer ground than the first time. He's the one with the experience in the bag, which will probably play to a big part when it comes to Saturday. But I think the tight turns. I think there was something I really liked about him when we seen him at Punchestown. So I think I'll take him each way, but I wouldn't be surprised if I think it's between the top 2. But I'll take him to follow him home in third. I don't really have a strong view on this at all. I don't really like juvenile hurdles whatsoever.
You usually follow my lead. It's probably the only one thing you follow my lead on.
Juveniles,
Yeah,
I
you do, yeah.
just don't. There's so many times a horse, like for instance, for Braun, who'd come out in the
They can
second,
improve faster.
and then he could end up bouncing or whatever.
Yeah.
He could do that.
They
You've not much to go on, really.
They improve or they disimprove at
Yeah,
different speeds.
It's not a race I'd be willing to invest heavily in now, to be honest. Right, on to the Irish Arkle. Blue Lord in 11-8, Riviere de Tella 9-4, St. Stan 3-1, Hunt on Colors, which I spelled right this week, is 3-1, Bust till 40s, Embitter 40, and whatever that is, Emburn Matita 50s. Who cares? It's going to be lapped. Tom, Dave.
I know you two probably like Blue Lord. And again, it's the William Mullins Brigade versus Big Gordo.
Ooh, Gordo friends.
I just think that very much so. I just think that the track and the day that's in it,
it'll be a fine day with a pint of Guinness in her hand.
It's going to be Riviere de Tella's big day. She will win Saturday, but won't win at Cheltenham.
Do you not think the big stiff uphill finish is going to be your downfall here?
No, because sometimes you can get away from the front. Excuse me, at Leopardstown.
You might make it to Leopardstown at this stage.
Sometimes you get away from the front at Leopardstown, and I think if they give her an easy lead in front, they won't catch her.
I know,
and it's possible for it to happen, and then they'll know not to do it again at Cheltenham.
Yeah, I thought she had every chance to go past Fernie Hoddle last time at Leopardstown. I just think she done too much to get back up near him at the last time. I know we probably don't have that, and
I genuinely think Fernie Hollow is
the second coming.
12 pounds better than the other 3 Willie Mullins horses in this. I think he's that much better than him, and I think for her to get as close, even getting all the weight, was a really good performance. She's still getting some weight. Is that more things?
It's no life, like.
She's getting more.
Really has no life.
She's obviously getting weight again, and I just think she'll be primed to win on Saturday, and then not so much at Cheltenham, because again, I think Saturday is her 5th or so run of the season, so she holds her form 6-7 runs for a season, fair play, but you doubt what's going to happen. But
the weight concession is a big thing.
That piece of form at Christmas, best piece of form in the race anyway, against Fernie Hollow. Definitely.
What about you, Tom? You on the same wavelength?
No, I don't know what to make of her. I kind of didn't know going into that Fernie Hollow race. I was saying I thought he'd beat her and beat her well. Interestingly, she got Fernie had to give her £13. Blue Lord has to give her £9, and the rest of them have to give her £7. So, as you're saying, Dave, if Fernie is better than the other 3 Willie Mullins horses, then for Haute en Couleurs and St. Sam, they've got to give her £6 less than Fernie gave. So, I fancy her to get beat again. Blue Lord, I was leaning on him. I'm actually going off him for no particular reason other than I probably just think I like the other 2 Willie Mullins horses more. Half the fences were taken out at Nace. The one good thing about him is he's settled a lot better. He was a bit of a head case last year, but he's settled a lot better, and he's taken to chasing well. He absolutely battered Lifetime Ambition, but Lifetime Ambition ran one good race at the start of the season, looked like he was going to take off over fences, and has just gone backwards. So that form isn't probably worth anything. I find it really hard to split St. Sam and Haute en Couleurs. I wonder, do you think Willie's going to run all 3 of them, lads?
I reckon he'll leave one out at least.
I honestly don't think he'll run all 3 of them. I think he'll run Blue Lord and St. Sam.
Yeah. Well, to make it easier for the listeners, then I think Blue Lord looks obvious to come here. If he left out one of the others, I would just back whichever one he left in, because I'm a fan of both of them. St. Sam, if you look at the form line between with El Barra, there's not much between him and Blue Lord. I think he has definitely improved for fences. The Devils coachman who he beat as well, that was his second run of the season, and he'd finished behind 30. So I think that's a red hot piece of form, and I do really think he's improved. Hold on, Clares. I really liked his jumping down the back at Leopardstown. He didn't meet any of them on really great strides, but he was really clever, slightly to the left. And then he just put his head down and got the job done. So I couldn't split two of them. If they both turned up, I'd probably have a fiver on each. But I'm really looking forward to watching the race. But yeah, I can't see all three of Willie's running. If they do, fair play to him. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
For what it's worth, I would Hawthorne Colours would be my favourite of Willie's three. I do think he probably will run in maybe the longer distance race with Galloping maybe. Maybe he might have been entered. I genuinely do think he'll turn up in the Turners at Cheltenham, and he only had 3 runs last season straight into like grade 1, so they clearly think a lot of him, but I do think he will get better as he gets more experience.
If he goes for the Turners, I think he's a cracking each way bet still.
Yeah.
Well, the way I think this is going to be run, it's going to be run a helter-skelter pace. Riviere de Tel is going to go out with the clappers. I think it's going to take the horse that stays the best. Blue Lord to me looks like he'll stay further. And I think if this is run at a mad pace, I think he's going to catch her late on. It's going to be hard given the weight away. And I think it is going to be hard to split Blue Lord and St. Sam. As Tom said, the form tied in with El Barra, which St. Sam beat further than Blue Lord. But that was Blue Lord's first time over fence. Again, it's St. Sam's first time over fence. You're taking on trust that his jumping has improved. Fences were taken out in his last run. If we go back to Cheltenham last year, he was going to be a clear second behind Appreciated until falling at the last. I think he's the class horse in the race. Whether or not they can give Riviere de Tel the weight away is the thing. I'm still not totally decided on it, but my head is telling me Blue Lord will have enough to do it. But then I'm looking at it again and I'm seeing that's a lot of weight for a mare to get that has the form behind Fernie Hollow and who has battered everything she's been against bar Fernie Hollow. I think it'll come down to me on the day what I actually feel on the day. Because right now I'd be lying and say, Blue Lord's definitely going to win. It's the weight that she's getting and the fact that she's been winning very, very impressively and a form behind Fernie as well. But as of right now, going to hell, I'd probably say Riviere de Tel, but then I'll contradict myself again. If she goes up too fast, Blue Lord will outstay her, I think. So if Jack Hendy gets the fractions right and Riviere de Tel, she'd be hard to beat. If they go off too fast, I think Blue Lord will pick her up. So that's the way I'm looking at it. So in other words, I'm sitting on the fence. Right. Now, we are going on to the Irish Gold Cup. Before we go on to the Irish Gold Cup, anyone that's joined us a few minutes ago or before the start, we have 3 doubles that are live now until midnight tonight. And all the links in the descriptions for the finish line links. So it would have been Hollywoodbets' second birthday. They're at the open. They're welcome off from bet 10, get 30. It's still bet 10, get 20 in the UK, but anyone that signs up through the finish line links below will get that extra 10 added onto their sign-up account. So here quickly are the 3 doubles. So you get Phil Dort and Blue Lord both to win. It was 9-2, it's now 11-2. You'll get Frodon to win the Irish Gold Cup and Shashan Pushwa to win the Dublin Chase. Was 11-2, now at Hasty 7-1. And the one that I think everyone will enjoy, Honeysuckle to win the Irish Champion Hurdle and Sir Gerhard to win the Irish Novice Hurdle. Was 9-4, now 10-3. Again, all the links are in the description below. Right, on to the Irish Gold Cup. Ken Bison Stall joint favourite with Frodon Manila Indo is 3-1. Steering Kaboom is 4's. The Shrewdies horse Everyone and their granddad is saying Mount Ida at 9-1. Why, for the life of me, I don't know. Delbrook 14s, Janadil 14-1, and bigger the rest. Right, B, take it away.
I think Frodon's the right favourite. He probably done well with going off so fast to hang in and come fourth. I Kempton would have been fifth if Asteroid had stayed up. I'd be wicked disappointed. Nothing against Mount Ida, but if she's good enough to win an Irish Gold Cup, I would be very disappointed in the race. Kemba is what he is, but you'd imagine he's good enough to beat her. And same with Frodon. Indo, I'd be more interested in with a bit softer ground, and at Cheltenham, his form is poor enough this year, but I'm sure he will turn it around. But I'd be more interested backing him each way at Cheltenham. It's a much of muchness race, no strong opinion, and I'm not saying for people to back Asteroid, but I will back
him. I'm looking at it as Kemba is Kemba. He's good around Leopardstown. There's no two ways about it. He's a multiple grade 1 winner. He won this race before. Frodon is Frodon. You know what you're going to get. He'll go out in front, jump well. You might get one or two out of staying. So want to back Manila Indo. This form, as you said, the form this season has been
very poor.
It's been poor. The third one looked an okay run for his first run back. So he looked like he's going to need it big time. I think then if you want, I'd probably look. He's going to be my selection anyway, because it's a poor race overall. If he gets back to his Cheltenham form, he wins this hands down. I think Kempton was a farce. They went off way too fast. The cheek piece didn't help. The track didn't help. I think he's the best horse in this race. I think he'll be okay in the ground. I can't see the ground being a problem to him. If the proper Malala Indo turns up here, we're starting to hit the kind of time of year where he comes into form, which is the springtime. He was fourth in this last year, but that was just a get me around exercise. I think this year it'll be, we need to get his confidence back going. Let's try win this thing. 3-1, yeah, I'll take that. I think if he's back to his best, he has taken a fraud and he has taken a Kemby. Asterion Phalange is the one you worry about, but again, Asterion Phalange has more Fs and Us. That's coming out Dave's mouth, not his form. Next to him, he's the one you'd worry about, but again, will he get around? God only knows. But at the end of the day, I think Milan Indo gets back to the way he was last year at Cheltenham. I think he'd be very hard to beat.
Yeah, it's an odd race list. It's not one I'm mad about, and I'm probably leaning into the won't have a bet in it.
You're so going to have a bet when you're up there. What's 3.15? You'll be 6 points in by then. You'll have €50 on Mount Ida. Guaranteed. €50 each way. 100% €50 each way on Mount Ida.
I'm being sensible. Look, I think it's really windy. Frodon is Frodon. I wouldn't be surprised to see him pop up here at all. Indo. Look, he's got excuses for his first run. He just wasn't fit enough. Fine. And then the next run, then they went that crazy gallop. So look, he does have his excuses. I wouldn't be surprised to see him bounce back here. I really hope he does. Asterion, I just don't know if I see him as that slogging it out 3 miler. I know he was coming there at the last at Kempton, but I think he benefited from the way that race turned out. And yeah, I don't know about him. Mount Ida, someone said in the comments she's going straight to the Mayor's Chase. I can't have her at all in this. Delta Work just seems to be on the hill. Janadil, I hope he just runs again like he's a non-stayer and, lovely little third or fourth kind of run. And the one I put up, and this is why I'm not having a bet, because there's no way I could back this at 5-2, is Kemboy. If you look at his Leopardstown record, it's really good. Do you know he's never been beaten more than 3 lengths over fences at Leopardstown? He's 2 wins, 2 seconds, a third, and a fourth. He came the worst position there being fourth in the Savills in 2019, and he was beaten 3.5 lengths. So his record at Leopardstown is brilliant, to be fair. I think he is the solid one that he's going to be in the places. But if he was 5-1, I'd have a bet. I don't fancy backing Kenboy to win a race at 5-2.
So who are you backing then?
Probably Kenboy. Depending on how many runners there are, depending if I can get 3-1. If it went out 7-2, happy days. I might have a look at the cheeky each way angle on Kenboy.
Yeah, I reckon on a day they'll shorten one and push out the other two.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not mad to be betting on that race though. It's windy,
Let's just remind him of this when he's going up to say, lads, I'm having 50 each way on this thing.
I won't be. I guarantee you I won't be.
Right, moving on to one of the easier races of the week. Galloping the Champs is 2-1. Jungle Buggy 5-1. Fury Road 5s. Master Max Sheet 8. Capadano. Wow, tongue-tied. 8-1. Beacon Edge 10s. Run Wild Fred 16s. 25-1. Bigger the rest. Tom, if going on his last run, his beginner's chase around Leopardstown, surely he's just a turn-up job.
I think so. Yeah, I think he's pretty solid. I think there's probably a few solid ones on Sunday, and he's definitely one of them for me. Look, it was just the way he did it. The form is fair. I think. I don't think it's amazing form, but he was extremely impressive. He'll go on this ground as well. I wouldn't want to be taking him on now anyway. If he got beat here, maybe the next day, but I wouldn't fancy taking him on now. Jungle Boogie is the other one. Jumps really well on his tracing debut. He's only ever had 3 runs in his life. He's had loads of issues. Loads and loads of issues, but he would be the Sable's second string here, I presume. Interested to see if Capadano runs. But yeah, I think look, for me, Galloping the Champs is a good thing, right?
Right, we know you want to say Galloping the Champs. The question is, what do they do? I know Ruby's at the minute putting this in everyone's head. If he bowls up here, jumps well the way he done, and shows that he has a lot of speed, do you send the Turners or do you send the Brown Advisory?
I don't have to make. I don't get paid to make those decisions. But to me, the day over Christmas, it was just all raw speed. Anyway, it was raw speed and
raw talent,
unbelievable jumping. Him and Braveman.
That's the thing, though. Do you want to go? The Brown Advisory thing, or the Turners is. Do you want to run? If he goes, he's currently non-runner, no bet. He's even money for the Brown Advisory, right? I'm a massive Brave Man's Game fan, but Bob is a better horse than him, and he is second favourite and clear second favourite. So are you going to go there where you're even money, or are you going to go and take on Bob? I would avoid Bob and go for the.
See, I see it differently.
That's because you hate Bob. You're a Bob hater.
I see it differently in the sense that what used to be the RSA can bottom out horses, and there can be really, really impressive novices and never come back from running in the RSA. And they might win it, but the career never comes back. It's essentially it's a Gold Cup, and to win that race is a lot on a horse going 3 miles around Cheltenham at breakneck speed. So, I can see why the Marsh was brought in and why people go to the Marsh now. I don't know. He's just. It'll be a hard decision. I don't think he's pigeonholed as a 3 miler because he won a 3 mile Grade 1 last year. It's like Willie has so many horses. He could split them up, and the Martin Pipe was 2.5, and he was just raw speed in the Martin Pipe as well. He was literally tanking on the bridle, and he running through hurdles and everything because it just made no difference. I remember like the commentator was on about Langer Dan. It's like, never mind Langer Dan. Look at that Lewis. Look at that black thing in the brown jersey behind him.
Just swinging coming to the second
half.
half.
Langer Dan. That thing is going to win by about 25 lengths. And it was raw pace, raw just talent. And it was the same the last day. He seems to have put it together because he couldn't win a race to start the last season. I think if he goes around again and just takes the bridle up and Paul is just sitting on him and he's just pinging fences, he's definitely a better jumper than Bob. And I don't know, you can't be afraid of one horse. I would, from what I've seen of the two of them jumping fences, Bob obviously has better hurdle for him, but what I've seen from the two of them jumping the fences, I would back Galloping over Bob anyway.
Look, first off, Galloping Champ wins here, no question about it. Go to Cheltenham, what he does after this, where he goes, to me, he's a horse that has that raw speed, but also has, I think he's going to have an abundance of stamina to back that up as well. I think he's one of these horses that has speed, but stays as long as the mother-in-law. He just strikes me this big, raw, staying chaser. His speed has been shown, yes. I think we could be looking at something very, very special.
I totally agree, but there's numerous instances of outsiders winning the RSA, and you're like, where did that come from? Because it's just a grueling race. Whereas, like, the cream seems to rise to the top in the Marsh. The likes of Vautour have won it. Like, proper, speedier types. Again, I don't have to make decisions. It's all the one to me, and I don't have them at big prices for either race. So,
look, it's obvious I have them for a bigger price with that, but I don't have Bob back yet. I just think the easier race for him is the RSC. And I think the easier race for Bob is the Turners. Calm down, if you're looking at the owners, being the owners, in your head, you own Bob Ollinger. All right, I want to avoid him. If I own Galloping the Champs, I'm avoiding him. Especially in your novice season. Fair enough in your open season. You're going to go against each other for the best race. I think in your open season, if you use your logic enough, these horses are for the future. You've Bob Ollinger, you've Galloping the Champs. You want to have the easiest race you can have in your novice season and then take them on in your open season.
Yeah, but the other side of it is Cheltenham, and I don't think Willie's going to shy away from a challenge anyway. And I understand where you're coming from regards the opposition. Try and win the race that you think is easier. But that's the opposition, horse versus horse. You're not looking at the longer term career of the horse for running the RSA, and it's absolute fact. It's hard on a horse to win the RSA.
But as I said, I think this Galloping the Champ could be something we've never seen before. He just strikes me when he walks out on the track. When he just gets there, you just stand to attention. You just go, Jesus Christ, look at him.
Well, I say to you, right, you were saying the exact same thing last year about Monkfish, and he done exactly what everybody expected him to do in the Dublin Racing Festival. He basically won on the bridle and bet that field. And then the RSA, like, I know he was kidding around and all that, but it was very hard on him. And then he was injured.
Yeah, well, look, you take Monkfish, he's a big dangly yoke who could have had them problems either way. Like, top of the game. Two of them are kind of similar horses in frame-wise. This fella strikes me as nothing is going to bother him, really.
I think
we could talk here till the cows come home about it.
Yeah, I really think Galloping will go for the festival, the RSA chase, whatever it's called this time. I think Willie goes for the easier race, and that on paper for me is definitely the easier race to win.
But I'm looking forward to seeing him on Saturday.
Yeah, I never said, but yeah, he will most likely win. I'd be looking for something each way, and maybe the Mouse Mars horse if he runs French Dynamite.
Right. Now, on to another shorty. Shakan Puswa is in a 4-5. Paul Nichols' Grenadines 3-1. Captain Guinness is 9-2. Dunvegan at 10. Skypire 14s. Cashback 20. Samco 33s. And Hardline 40. Tom, are we to take on trust that everything is okay with Shakan?
I think if he turns up here, that we are, yeah. And I think if he turns up here, I would take it that everything is fine with him. He's only been beaten once in his 4 runs at Leopardstown. I really think this is his track. I was there one of the days he beat Min, and Jesus, it was an incredible performance down the back and really outstayed Min, and it was a cracking run. Tingle Creek, in fairness to him, that's his only bad run for Willie Mullins, and apparently he came back with a small injury from that. So I'm very much willing to forgive him that. And if he does turn up here for me, I think he'll win. Grenadine was only half the length behind him in the Champion Chase last year. But, he was soundly beaten by Shishkin. He's liable to a good one on their day. And I think back at Leopardstown, this will play into Shacken's hands. Captain Guinness ran well in Tingle Creek as well. But again, I just think he's liable to a proper good one. So for me, it's Shacken.
Yeah. What do you think?
As far as shorties go, or odds on, I think he's one of the best bets of the whole year, to be honest.
I was going to say, this is a short one. I'm going to get stuck into.
I'll probably have a big bet in it. His form in Ireland is all 1-1-1.
He's only ever been beaten by Applewood.
He was beaten by Applewood. The circumstances of that race conspired against him, and Applewood turned out to be extremely talented going up and trip, and obviously won his grade ones at 2 miles too. Like, Applewood's a very good horse and probably still progressing at the age he is. His age of 10, I suppose, is worrying, but would be more worrying for Cheltenham. Tends to suit 7-8-year-olds. And he's just miles clear on ratings. He clearly doesn't travel well, which can happen to some horses. He came back with an injury, but he wasn't the same Shackan from start to finish in the Tingle Creek. He looked like he was travelling great at Cheltenham, but when you look back, he wasn't the same aura that he had at Leopardstown.
Really
but Leopardstown, Punchestown is his bag. No travelling, no boats, no planes. It's easy. He'll win.
Yeah, I think he's a shorty now that a lot of people are going to get stuck into. I think we're going to get stuck into him as well. As Dave said, his form at Leopardstown is up there. He's only ever been beat by Applewood. He nearly retired Min. Min was never the same after he beat him. I just think he turns up. He's an A1 form. He absolutely spanks a lot of these. I think Grenadine is a decent horse in his own right. And correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if he's ever run it before. So you're going on, does he travel, blah, blah, blah. And Captain Guinness is a 30 each way bet. If there's 8 runners, he's a 30 each way bet now. He's an account closer bet.
I can't stand that horse.
I know, but look, at worst, he'll be third. Dunvegan is not half the horse he is away from Fairy House. And then you have Sky Pirate, you have Cashback, who won the last time, but was liable to kill himself. Sam Crow, his days are well and truly gone. You have Hardline.
Well, it's Sam Crow.
But yeah, I think Shackan Poissois, what price is he there? He is, where is he? Scroll.
4 to 5.
4 to 5 on. That is an odds-on shot now I am willing to get stuck into. To me, he is well clear, miles clearer than the rest of them. He jumps around, he wins.
Yep.
And if he doesn't, it'll be an early Sunday at Leopardstown. Right. So we had to throw him on of the big handicaps to make it interesting. Bulmer's Secret Orchard. That's in Clonmel, so it's not so secret. 2 mile, 5.5 chase. Blackpool is currently 5-1 favourite, and there's a lot of other prices. Tom, you have a keen little interest in this. You put in a group today. I have a 21 shot for this, lads. Let's hear it.
I did. My notes have just disappeared.
So, Dave.
Oh, no. Yeah, go to Dave.
Oh, God. Go on, Dave.
Oh, no, I'm back. No, this isn't actually... This isn't the race I had a 20 shot for. That 20 shot is now 16s, but we'll do the handicaps at the end, other than this one. For this race, I am massively keen on Birchdale. I never thought those words would ever come out of my mouth until I was going through this race, struggling to find a way into it. I'm keen enough to take on Blackbow. He finished second at Fairy House. He's gone up £5 again for that now. He's rated 156. Takes a fair amount to win a handicap of 156. And you're basically saying he's a 160 horse. I don't think Blackbow is a 160 horse. Max Flamingo and Gallant John Joe, the other two kind of novice runners, they're the ones I'd maybe have another look at, as an angle in. And then I got to Birchdale. I went back and I watched the Paddy Power, and my God, he caught the eye. He jumped so well. He looked the winner turning in. He was still upsides jumping last, and he just got tired. He's off the same mark of 129. He's going to have a seriously low weight. This is back down in trip now to 2 mile 5.5. And just the way he travelled through that, he just really looked the winner. That was only his 4th run for Enda Bolger. And if you want to, I don't know if you want to call them educational runs or what you want to call them, but he had 3 runs in chases in Ireland, in beginners chases, and he got beaten 11 lengths, 49 lengths, and 46 lengths. And then he got beat 8 lengths in the Paddy Power when he looked on stayer, which if you go back and look at his form, a trip like this is going to suit him a lot better. He's still off his original mark there of 129. I think he could be absolutely chucked in, considering he was rated 146 at one stage in the UK over hurdles and was only beaten 9 lengths when 8th in the Coral Cup off of that mark. He jumped like an absolute bunny. I've gone away. I managed to get a little bit 10-1 today. There is still 10-1 in a place. Go and have a bet on Birchdale.
Terrible.
The prices aren't on Hollywoodbets site for this race.
Yeah, I know, I'm messing.
I checked before I said it. I checked.
Boys having an argument there in the comment. They're killing each other.
That's right, too.
I had Birchdale. I'm not going to reiterate what Tom said. I backed him the last time and he looked the winner. I thought I was counting my money coming to the last. Stopped like he was shot. So I'm going to give him another chance. Price 7-1. I'll have a bit of that. But the other one I have as well is Gallant John Joe. His form at Leopardstown reads 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 3rd, 2nd. Some of them have been quite good races. Oliver McKiernan has a dab hand to get Moon ready for these kind of races like this and at Leopardstown. So what price is he there? 10-1, something like that. I think I think he's going to be there at the finish. So my main 2 bets are Gallant John Joe and Birchdale. I was going to put up Wave of the Sea, but he's denied me the last 2 runs, so I'm not putting him up again.
I have 2 for this. One of them is Gallant John Joe, and then my stronger bet, again, like I said at the start of the show, regards trainers that have good results at this meeting, and Joseph O'Brien is one, and it is Wave of the Sea. A different,
definitely going to win.
Different JP horse. He's won 5 races in his life over jumps. 3 of them are at Leopardstown. His form at Leopardstown reads 3rd to Aspire Tower back in his juvenile hurdle days. Then he won a grade 1. 5th in a big handicap. Then he won a big handicap last year at the meeting, and he fell over Christmas. And he's consistently a big each way price, because he doesn't really run well anywhere else. He plods around, gets his handicap mark, and he's there for a certain day. I reckon Joseph will have him spot on for the weekend. Runs well at Leopardstown. He stays up that kind of incline after the bend at Leopardstown. I think he's a great each way bet. His form is there. He's won at the festival before, so yeah, Wave of the Sea each way.
Let's hope one of us has the winner anyway. Right. Second last one. The Honeysuckle Irish Champion Hurdle. Tom, with even Henry's patchy form lately, even if Appreciate turns up, she surely still wins.
Yeah, I think so. It was this race last year that she really announced herself to me. I never thought I'd see her. I thought she'd always going to just win that length or 2, but she blew them away here last year and jumped really well. She was good in the Hatton's Grace there at the start of the year as well. She's unbeaten in 13 starts. I'm not taking her on. Appreciate it was really good as a novice, but we've already spoken about how difficult it is for a novice to come out of novice company over fences, and you know how all of a sudden they look very average. On top of that, then he's also got to go and give her £7, and he hasn't run yet this year. So if he goes and beats her in this, like, that will be one hell of a performance. But no, for me, definitely Honeysuckle.
Same with you.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Appreciate it doesn't run. Honeysuckle, what I might do is, because I think Shakan will win, and I think with the other horses after being taken out for the bumper, Facile Vega will win. He kind of needs to be what they think he is. So I'll have the three of them in a treble, try and accumulate them together. But Honeysuckle should win, yeah. It's hard to know what else is going to run decently. Maybe Tom's horse, Heaven Help Us, might get second because she might lead and hang on. She ran well at the meeting last year. She did.
I wouldn't put it past her to run well. Yeah. Sanois is the other one for me. He ran a very nice race behind Charger, but playing for places.
I think the way I'm going to play this is the forecast. I think Honeysuckle wins, and I think Stanley here follows her home. He's been improving all season. The second behind Charger last time was good. He was in front of St. Wa. I just think he's a horse that's going to keep on improving, and I think he will be the one to follow home. So the forecast for me, Honeysuckle and Charger, and Stanley here.
I obviously know there's only two places, but if Heaven Help Us runs, she's 50-1 odd. Like the other horses want to be held up. Honeysuckle's obviously way better and will win the race. So they'll give Heaven Help Us an easy lead. She might not come back to the rest of them.
Quite possible. Another one we're going to get to see anyway, Honeysuckle. Right, last one we will finish on is the Tara Stalls Irish Novice Hurdle. Sir Gerhard is in a 6-4. El Fabiola 92. My mate Mozzie 92. 3 Stripe Life 5-1. Mighty Potter at 6s. Statuaire 32. Conan Mustard 14th 20-1. Big of the rest. Tom, Sir Gerhard wins. Probably goes to the top of the Supreme Novice Hurdle. Market again. Are we looking for a good performance out of him? Or to me, this looks like a race that has a lot of strength and depth in it, and I don't think it'll be as easy as he turns up when he wins.
Yeah, I think it does as well, actually. He didn't beat much at Leopardstown on his hurdling debut, but he was very, very impressive. Ruby keeps saying, I've heard him say twice now about this piece of work he rode on him, and he was blown away. So that tells you how good they think he is. And I do think he's overpriced for the Supreme. God, if we knew he was going for the Supreme, I'd be backing him all day long. El Fabiolo was impressive at Tremor. He's going to have to step up on that, though. I'm not sure about him just yet. My mate Mozzie was a bit disappointing in the Royal Bond. That was a funny, odd race. You could probably give him another shout, but I don't know if I'm not mad keen on him. Mighty Potter beat 3 Stripe Life last time, but I think 3 Stripe Life will reverse the form, and that actually leads me on to who would be my selection. And if I don't know how many runners there's going to be here, but you know, if we could back him each way, I'd be delighted. But 3 Stripe Life for me was given an odd ride the last day. I thought he could have been a hell of a lot closer to Mighty Potter, and if he would have won that, I think he'd be a lot shorter than he is now. He still looked green. He still looked babyish. I think he's the each way bet in this.
But you?
I just think Sir Gerhard is better than these. Bar the blip at the end of last year at the Punchestown bumper. I nearly couldn't. I don't know. Bumping Town or something. He would be unbeaten, and there'd be no question of taking him on. He'd probably be odds on 4-6, something like that, even after winning only a maiden hurdle. Probably didn't look the best maiden hurdle in the world at the time, but he ran it well. Time was good, and the horses behind it are starting to come out with Frank that form. One of them bolted up by, I think the horse that came third bolted up by 5 lengths easy, and another Willie Mullins horse behind that, owned by JP, should have won a race, got a bad ride, and didn't win a race. I'm not saying who was on it.
What was that again?
Owned by JP, ridden in Ireland.
So go back here. I missed that part.
A JP horse that should have won. That was like 6th or 7th in Sir Gerhard's race. It should have won and didn't. But yeah, I just think he'll win. I really like Three Stripe Life as well. I could see him following him home. Maybe El Fabiolo in 3rd. So the right horse come to the 4. It is a strong race though, and if he does win and win it well, 5 or 6 lengths, he deserves to be favoured for the Supreme. And I cannot, for the life of me, see them then rerouting him to the Ballymore. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So Sir Gerhard to win.
Sir Gerhard, probably the most likely winner on unknown form, champion bumper winner. Three Stripe Life is the one I like. There's something about him. I keep going back to him. I don't know what it is. I just think there's a big one in him. And the last time Davy could have been a lot better on him. Look, Davy Russell knows better than us, but I think he could have been a lot better than him. I think he's still green as grass. I keep going back to what he done at Cheltenham. His race was run before he even got out on the track. He went through the rails on the way up. He was keen as anything you want in the race, and he was still there a furlong out on the bridle. He just done too much on the lead up to it, and he got beat 8.5 lengths to Sir Gerhard. I think if he comes there and he's professional and he doesn't do any antics, I think he's going to give Sir Gerhard a scare. There's not much between them when you take into consideration all the antics he got up to at Cheltenham, and I'm getting 5-1. I never do this, but I think he's an each way absolute steal. I can't see him being out of the top 3.
The other thing about Three Stripe Life is he's already been taken out twice because the ground's not been soft enough.
They're watering it all week, though, aren't they?
Still not soft enough.
But I worry because they're gonna have to give him another run surely before Cheltenham.
Oh, absolutely. They're going to have to run him at some stage. So,
yeah. Like Mighty Potter's had 3 runs. Three Stripe Life has only had 2 and looks like he'll improve for the racing. So, yeah, I think they're going to have to run him somewhere. I don't know if they take him out of here. I don't know where they'd go with him.
I mean, my Mozzie will put up a good display as well. I think he's starting to be overlooked a bit. He's the kind of the early season horse that was winning the not so strong races. His last run was weird. It was a weird race. He could run a big race as well. I think Sir Gerhard a likely winner, but if he doesn't fire on all cylinders and Three Stripe Life does turn up and behaves himself, he doesn't have much to find with Sir Gerhard, really. I know it's 8.5 lengths, but that's 8.5 lengths on what he's done prior to that race. So I think Three Stripe Life is my selection in this. Now, before we go through the comments, we will get our naps and next best. Tom, you actually want to go through the handicaps, don't you?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find it now. I just wanted to go through. So on Saturday, we've got. I'm just seeing if I've got one for this. Oh yeah. So on Saturday, back to Saturday for the handicaps. The 2 mile 1 handicap chase. I'd give a good shout out to Fighting Fit. I think there's a lot of exposed horses in that race. Fighting Fit isn't one of them. He actually beat our own horse, Alice Averill, at Nace the last day, and he won well. Don't mind Alice's next run. She had an excuse for that. So the form of that should be okay. We think she's well handicapped. So, I think he is still definitely well handicapped off 119. He'd had those educational runs as well and literally been let go twice. So if there's an improving horse in that race, I think it's him. And then we go back to the 3 mile handicap hurdle. This is an interesting race because Dunboyne is a massive fancy of mine for the Potemps. He's towards the head of the market here. I can see him running well. I don't think they're going to want to win that at all because he's just going to get mullered by the handicapper if he does. So keep an eye out on Dunboyne. The one I am going for is, Jesus, scrolling down, happy days. Unexpected Depth. Go back and watch that Potemps qualifier. He literally could not have been wider around the whole bend. Like, he was about 15 wide around the bend. It was ridiculous.
Supposed to run
Stayed on, then travelled into it down the outside, nudged along. Looked like he was going to play a hand. When he ran out of steam, then after going so wide, he was left alone. Your man even sat up on him for the last few strides. He finished 9th. He could have finished closer than that. I'm certain of it. There's only been 14 lengths. He's off 142. That was his first run back after 241 days as well. Oliver McKiernan, as Andrew mentioned, can get one ready for a day like this, and this is the time of year. This is the time of year to catch him. He goes very well at this time of year, so he is 16-1, and I am pretty sweet on him.
You any handicap ones?
I have one in that race. I was just showing it to Andrew. Capilano Bridge, big price, Conor O'Dwyer horse. Not sure who would be riding it. Pretty decent form in handicaps, bar the last time. Where was it? Yeah, at Cheltenham. I fancied him at Cheltenham, actually. It was in the November meeting. Didn't run well, but I forgive him that race and go back to his form. At the end of last year, he was second in a handicap to Capitano, who clearly has improved markedly for that, but they're strong form there with a horse like Max Flamingo and all. Majority of people are familiar with a lot of the horses that he's forming around, so I give him a chance, carrying 10 stone 7, so pretty low weight. And then on Sunday, Gavin was talking about this race actually up in the ante yesterday and picked the favourite, Party Central, but I'm going to go for the Gavin Cromwell horse, Bride's Hill. Again, we were out watching the racing that day and she bolted up at a handicap at the Christmas meeting. She has to give Party Central, Gordon Elliott's horse, a stone, but she will go from the front and it'll be catch me if you can again. It's exactly what she did in the other handicap. And she just seems to be very good, improving from last year to this year. Typical mare, she's thriving. Kind of keep on him at her thriving. If she ends up winning this, she'd have actually a pretty decent rating. So she would be seen to be a very decent mare. And a couple of mares that ran well in this last year, Heaven Help Us, went on and obviously won at Cheltenham. So seems to be a decent enough race. And I do actually think she's worth a bet of 5 or 6 to 1 against the favourite because of the way the race will be run.
Very good. I didn't look at any of the handicaps in that time. So, Nap's the next best. Tom?
My nap is going to be Birchdale. Come on, Birchdale. And my next best is Manila Crooner.
My nap is Shakan. Next best is Sir Gerhard. They're short, but I do think they'll win.
My nap is Shakan as well. My next best is 3 Stripe Life. Now, quickly go through the comments.
There's one there, the 4th one up there, Andrew, about Dunboyne.
Dunboyne needs a few pounds, only 128 to get into Pertemps off that.
128 is his Irish mark, so he's going to get at least £4 on that for his English mark. So that put him on at least 132, which he will be pretty much guaranteed to get in off, and would have a low weight. So he is just perfect for that race. So hopefully he's like 4th or 5th at the weekend.
Any chance of Honeysuckle getting pulled because of the ground? Lads, it's dry up here.
No, you tell me.
You're asking me for Jay.
No, I think Gordon actually said he walked it today, and he said it's looking.
It's fine, yeah.
So I think, look, it's going to be quick enough ground. We haven't had much rain, but I don't think they're going to make the mistake again of letting it get really, really fast.
There's a few in the group that we're going. There's a few. I seen that. The group that we're going. There's a few people with their Pertemps horses fancies running the weekend. We'll see who comes out, who comes better at Cheltenham.
Who just gets kidded into 4th place and who ruins their handicap mark?
Put his horse and only anti-post bet of the whole year is running in that Pertemps qualifier.
This is a lot now. I've been saying this all week. We've been hearing this. Appreciate will run in the Red Mills.
He's going out in the bet. He's going out in the betting as the days go on. So
find it back the other one. Any more quickly. Let's go. That's not much there.
Come and say hello to us anyway. If anybody's up there, we're going to be up there for the 2 days. So come and say us hello, and feel free to buy us any pints. We'll accept pints.
Brilliant.
Oh, Lord. Expensive, Andrew, up there.
There's a good stat. 7 of the last 10 handicaps at the meeting were won by conditionals. So probably a decent horse getting a little bit of weight taken off.
Dublin Racing Festival accumulator. Lucky 15, whatever.
Okay.
Birchdale.
I'll go Brides Hill, Sir Gerhard, Vauban, and Braun in the very first race.
Tom?
Hang on, give me a second, because I thought we were going one each, so I'll pick mine out now. You go, Andrew.
Oh, God. Jesus. Go each way one. The Tide Turns. Gallant John Joe.
The Witch will back him.
Who?
The Witch is never going to knock back that horse. Gallant John Joe.
Three Stripe Life and the Zanny here.
Each way accumulator. I like it.
Do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a few bigger priced ones there. So I'm going to go with Manila Cruna. Vauban will be the shorty. Unexpected Depth and Birchdale. 7-1, 11-10, 16-1, and 9-1. Oh.
I'm very much looking forward to this weekend.
Oh, cannot wait.
One of these weekends, you convince yourself it's all going to come together, and it happens every weekend. But more so this weekend. More so this weekend.
I can't wait to have a lovely pint of Guinness out of a plastic cup again.
Guinness actually quite nice out of plastic glasses, which is strange, but it's actually quite nice. Yeah.
Work the Punchestown, work the Cheltenham.
Yeah.
Right, before we go again, the following enhanced doubles are now live in Hollywoodbets. All the links are in the description. So on the second birthday, they've enhanced their sign-up offer. So it's now bet 10, get 30. It's bet 10, get 20 in the UK, but anyone that signs up through the finish line links will get bet 10, get 30. So first one is Phil Dorr to win the Racing TV Juvenile Hurdle and Blue Lore to win the Irish Arkle. Was 9-2, now 11-2. Frodon to win the Irish Gold Cup. Shakan Postwa to win the Dublin Chase. 11-2, now 7-1. And finally, Honeysuckle to win the Irish Champion Hurdle. And Sir Gerhard to win the Irish Novice Hurdle. 9-4, now 10-3. You'll find them on the horse racing page under specials right now up until midnight. So that is us done. And again, I forgot another one. The tickets for Saturday for the Dublin Racing Festival. Again, all you have to do is go onto YouTube and go to Hollywoodbets International page. So it says Hollywoodbets International. There's two. Hollywoodbets Normal is the South African one, so it won't count if you go into that one. Hollywoodbets International is a new one set up. So literally all you have to do is subscribe to that. The winner will be announced at 11 o'clock tomorrow on all the social medias. It'll be on Hollywoodbets and it'll be announced on the finishing lines one as well. So you have until 11 o'clock tomorrow to get that done. Again, over the Hollywoodbets International page on YouTube. And we are giving away 2 tickets to Saturday's racing at the Dublin Racing Festival. So until then, if we don't see you up in Leopardstown, have a good meeting. There will be no talking points on Sunday. We will do the both on Wednesday as a review show / preview. So until then, have a good week and we'll see you